here on page 47, toward the bottom, Rousseau opens up the question of talent as opposed to virtue. And I think we understand the basics of this. Talents are being good at some things, and virtues is a matter of being good in general. And so Rousseau asks, what makes a person successful in the modern world? What do we value? Is it in fact the virtues? So probity, having good sense, making good practical decisions, keeping your mind on what really counts. Is that what makes us succeed and makes other people admire us? It seems not to be that. It seems to be something like talent, being effective in partial ways rather than the general way of having virtue. We see that in a number of areas. Rousseau says we don't ask whether a book is useful, but whether it's well written. And you can ask yourself, what are the things that you really enjoy? If we're talking about, say, stories, not just books, but storytelling in any form. What are the ones that you indulge in when you're free to do what you like, what really matter to you? Is it the ones that have at their bottom virtue, or is it rather the talent that pleases you? And if you go for jokes, do you go for the ones that are really revealing of the truth? Jokes have this capacity to change our minds about people who seem impressive and seem worthy of respect, but are in fact ridiculous. Jokes can wise us up. But not everybody has a taste for that effect of the joke. Maybe you like the things that are simply clever. Well, then that cleverness is a kind of talent. Do the stories that you really like, are they based on human virtues? Are the heroes actually good people, and are they good in a realistic way? The villains, this may be even clearer, they're clearly bad people. And any story will choose some real form of badness and assign that to the villain. But is it a realistic badness? Is it the bad in the way that people in your lives really are bad? Is it instructive? Does it in fact show you the common ways to go bad? In the same way that this discourse by Rousseau is working so very hard to try to show us what those are. Is it the fact that in the stories you like true virtue, and even true vice, true villainy, true badness that's not what gets your attention. That's not what you like to see, but some more pleasing version. Right? We all seem to like not books, but movies, and this is just understandable. The movies are impressive and dazzling, and they have a wonderful way of telling stories that just writing words down on paper can't do. But what are we taking to there? We don't like the movies because they tell us a truer and more useful story, grounded in those short lists that I was talking about at the end of the last video of the things that really count. They are technically brilliant, and that surely comes under the category of talent rather than virtue. So this becomes the general conclusion for his first argument. Along with many other arguments, we're not paying attention to the things that really count and allowing our extra powers and our advancements through the arts and the sciences to distract us from what really counts. But here he begins to investigate a counter-argument to his own main trend. He mentions at the end of this paragraph people who, instead of producing cultural content, instead of writing things, do things. The people who create a prize, such as he is trying to get with this essay, rather than people like himself who merely write things in order to win the prize. I'll show you where we are, page 48. This brings up the grounds of the counterargument. People in the modern age do good things, and there are even good writers and intellects of genius among us. And how shall we think about that? How shall we incorporate that into the argument? The basics are simple. We've lost sight of what matters, but not everyone has. And we know that at bottom, the prize that Rousseau is participating in comes from some helpful person trying to redirect the attention of society to the questions that really matter. And if those things are possible, how should we think about them? Do they disturb the argument? Do they show that Rousseau got things fundamentally wrong and we have to think of a new way? Well, of course, he doesn't put it that way. He incorporates this possibility. There are a few good people, a few impressive people, a few true artists, and a few true scientists. And that does not upset his argument. So that should be our next topic. After the distinction between the talents and the virtues, who are the people of genius? Who are the great intellects of the modern world? And how should we think about them?